Feeling wonderful after after sleeping in, just no alarm, or it was set, I just slept through it, but a great feeling nonetheless. Alex Palau makes history as first Spanish driver to win the Indianapolis 500. How do you pronounce this name? How to pronounce? Let's see.
That's a difficult one. First thing is that I don't mind if people don't know how to pronounce it, just because I understand its stuff. But it would say pa, like you say pa, that's it, and lo, just saying lo.
Hello.
So
Palou.
perfect, you got it.
Okay, it's Alex Palou. And you see, makes history as first Spanish driver to win the Indianapolis 500. If you don't know, the Indy 500 is an annual automobile race held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana. Okay, and they say, what is so special about the Indy 500? It has been reported to be the largest single day sporting event in the world. Likewise, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway itself is regarded as the world's largest sporting facility in terms of capacity. And that is something I want to grab right there. Because we know that it's about the language. Okay. So I want to enter that in the Gematria calculator. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which I didn't do for the breakdown. And I'll put Indy. We could probably just put Indy. That's interesting right there as well, but we put 500. Okay, and I already see something absolutely amazing. Look at right here, Indy 500. Check this out. In the reduction cipher, you see the chart. Look at this, 525 on the fly, and that is the date of the Indy 500. Let that soak in. Look at this right here. Isn't that amazing? 525, the 5th month and the 25th day. So 525 is the 109th Indianapolis 500. Look at that. On the fly, 525 and Indy 500 equals 525. Isn't that amazing? And you also get, the 52, you get the 552. You see that? So you get the same numbers on top of the actual date. Even Indy equals 25. Even Indy's got the 25 on the 25th day. I don't know if it's the same every year, but that hit? That hits. And notice that 56, that's going to come into play as we go forward. But wow, man. I see how this guy has the April Fool's birthday. April 1st, April Fool's Day. I also want to enter that. Look at April's got 56. Look at that. April's got 56. Indy 56. Indy 500, 556, like 56. You see that? Look how all of that lands right away. Isn't that amazing? All of that lands on the way on the fly before we get into the breakdown even. And I'm trying to play this video. I'm trying to play this video here with the story on the Associated Press. So once we get through this ad, wow, a 20-second ad? But this guy took the ceremonial swig of milk in victory lane at the Indy 500. He allowed his wife to have a sip. She, in turn, gave a sip to their baby. And team owner Chip Ganassi ended up with the bottle and took a drink as well. So what's up with the milk? We'll probably take a look at that here in a minute. What's up with the milk with the Indy 500?
Yeah, I mean, with that raindrops that we had at the beginning of the race and then middle of the race, lots of yellows like back to back. It was tough to get into a rhythm and get our car balance where we needed. I struggled a little bit at the beginning of the race. I was there, but I couldn't really move. And then towards the end, we started getting our tank car where we wanted. Last lap, I don't know. You never know, man. Like you never know. I felt great towards the end of the race, but we're in a disadvantage on fuel and tires to Marcus and some other cars. So I couldn't really push as much as I wanted and as much as I could. But I had to be there and wait for the opportunity to overtake Marcus. So I'm glad everything worked for us. It's amazing. It's the best day of my entire life. It's just amazing, the happiness I have, the amazing support from the fans, as you can see. Yeah, I wish I could capture this moment right now.
This is amazing, okay? Absolutely amazing. And here he is again right here. He's 28 years old. Okay. And again, a Spanish racing driver who drives for Chip Ganassi Racing in the IndyCar series, where he won the 2021, 2023, and 2024 championships and the 2025 Indy 500 now. Isn't that awesome? Okay. And obviously there's a few extra things that I'm entering here. Chip Ganassi Racing. Maybe we put like IndyCar series as well. And I have some slides and we'll get into those right now. But this stuff is it actually hits if just as heavy, if not heavier than what I already have for y'all, okay? Put IndyCar series, maybe like IndyCar, and then we can April. He's born in April. You get 34. IndyCar's got 43. So maybe we revisit this, but I think it is time that we get into these slides now. Okay. Okay. So Indianapolis has been trending lately, and the Indy 500. We know Jim Irsay, music-loving owner, dies at age 65, owner of the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. Is that a coincidence? He dies right around the Indy 500. The stuff is all with the language, remember? And of course, the Indiana Pacers are hitting big in the NBA playoffs, aren't they? They had a big comeback victory, I hear, the other day as well, even though this looks like a loss right here. And if I'm not, this is the conference finals, so the winner of this series goes to the NBA finals. But the Pacers hitting big, it seems like it's all I'm hearing about in the NBA playoffs. Indiana Pacers, so Indiana Colts, the football team, their owner dies, and you get the Indy 500. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, like the most talked about WNBA player, you know? And I just did this story. Forward Katie Lou Samuelson, season-ending ACL tear. She was on the Indiana Fever last season, and she's on the Seattle Storm now. But a trending story again with Indiana. Okay? Now back to Alex Palou, the Indy 500 winner. It's with the language, right? He's got the April birthday, A. Alex, A. Look at these numbers. Remember, this is with the language. We just took a look at the 4 ciphers with the English language, didn't we? Look at that. I mean, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not trying to like convince people. I'm just showing these facts. Okay, this isn't my opinion. Look at this with the language. This is ordinal and reverse with the alphabet. Look at that. Alex Palou, 107. Indianapolis 500, 701. Same numbers, just reversed. Look at that. The Indy 500, we are in the 5th month. 500 like 5, right? His birthday, April 1st, the 4th month, first day. 4 plus 1 is 5. Look at his birthday. 50 date numerology like 5. The event, I said in the 5th month. Look at 5, 25 plus the year 25 equals 55. All of this like 5. Like Indy 500 in the 5th month. Look at that. This event, 7 weeks, 5 days after his birthday. 75. Indianapolis equals 75 in reverse reduction. Now let's look at his name, but this is his actual last name here, but he goes by the other last name. Montalbo, 124 in reverse. Look at 7 weeks, 5 days after his birthday is the same as 1 month, 24 days. See that? 1 month, 24 days after his birthday, Montalbo, 124 in reverse. And you see look at right there. He was born Alex Palou Montalbo, but he goes by Alex Palou. You see that? Look at how it hits. Look at that. Again, 7 weeks, 5 days after his birthday, Indianapolis 75. 7 weeks, 5 days, the same as 1 month, 24 days after his birthday. Montalbo, 124 in the reverse cipher. So you see, it's the 109th Indy 500. 109, like 19. Look at 5, 2, 5, and the year 25. Those single digits equal 19. His birthday was the 91st day of the year. Alex Montalbo, 190 in reverse, like 19. How about that? You know, I don't know why. Is that a thing where you go by your first and your middle name? I don't know. Is that 2 last names? Either way, you see Alex Montalbo, if you put it like that. And you see how that lands, right? And you see how all of it lands, don't you? Amazing, right? Those were awesome connections on the fly. And I thought I had some 50. I think I have some 56s in here. Let's look at the last slide here. Look at this. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Indianapolis 500. Look at that. Right here. 560 in reduction, which is like 56. Now remember when we go over here, Alec or April, his birthday, 56. Like Indianapolis 500 equals 56. Indy 56, even Indy 500, 556. You see that? And I just caught another connection. You see Indianapolis 500 right here. Let me open this up. This is everything I entered too. None of this is a stretch, right? This is the bare minimum here of what you can enter. You got his name, Spanish, racing, race, and Indianapolis 500 and Indianapolis. That's the bare minimum, okay? Look at Indianapolis 500, 575. Look right above, 75. And remember, 7 weeks, 5 days after his birthday. So none of that stuff is a coincidence. And I mean, do you like that? That was very efficient as you hear the dog snore in the background. Man, the life of a dog. What a way to be. What a way to live, right? And how amazing. Let me fix that Caitlin Clark slide real quick. Bam. What a way to live, huh? But look at how all of that lands. And then I just like to scroll the article. Again, Indianapolis 500 in the 5th month. Absolutely amazing. And I just, I like to see if anything else is going to pop. It's kind of irrelevant to me, like what led to the victory, all of the characters involved. Look, they even speak of Tyrese Halliburton. And look at this. We just brought up the Indiana Pacers. Look at that. Such a role that IndyCar officials were trying to hustle along the post-race commitments for Palou to get him downtown to watch the Indiana Pacers play the New York Knicks. In Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Palou on Saturday wore a Tyrese Halliburton jersey. You see that right there? That's amazing. And you see the character here. God, that's amazing. Let's get a picture of the guy. Can we get a picture of the guy in the jersey? And I think I just did a breakdown on a character with the name Burton or Barton in the WNBA trending. Here he is with the Halliburton jersey on. God, all on the fly here. Look at this. He's got the Tyrese Halliburton jersey on with this Indiana connection. And what was that other breakdown? Was it Burton in the WNBA? Let me find that real quick. Veronica Burton. Look at how, and I missed that when I did the breakdown. Look at this, man. Look at this. Veronica Burton scores 22 to lead the Valkyries to expansion franchise's first win over the Mystics. Look at that, man. Like Tyrese Halliburton. Woo! You like this world? It's not bad. You just got to make it work for you. You just got to make it work for you. You're going to see a lot of stuff, as I mentioned, within here. Look, yard of bricks. Like you could shoot the basketball, a brick, right? Brick. Look, Chip Ganassi Racing. I don't know, like championship, or is Halliburton good, and the Pacers, are they gonna win a chip? Championship. There's a lot of this stuff in the language. Notice how they got yellow on their uniforms here, like the Pacers wear yellow. You know what I'm saying? Fake world. Amazing. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. We may have a 100 connection here also. Notice how the Pacers scored, and these numbers are relevant too, right here, by the way. But I see the Pacers scored 100 points in the loss right there. And that was yesterday, the day of the race, the Indianapolis 500. It looks like they lost and they scored 100 points. And I don't want to make this too long, but we may have just saw a 100. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was over here. Oh, I think I was wrong. So with that being said, you don't have to know. I don't know about this guy. I don't know who he is. Okay, look, Spanish equals 103. Like Chip Ganassi Racing equals 103. Okay, and he's the first Spanish guy to win. Makes history as first Spanish driver to win Indianapolis 500. Spanish equals 103 and 301. Chip Ganassi Racing equals, Chip Ganassi Racing 103 and 301. And Spanish equals 103. You see how that works? And that's the team he races for. You see how that works? That's exactly how that works. And Spanish equals 32. Indianapolis Motor Speedway 302 like 32. So it's like, how deep do you want to go, right? But I've shown my point here. We don't want to invest too much time. Okay? And I think that was nicely put together. There's always going to be more. But Alex Palou makes history as first Spanish driver to win the Indianapolis 500, y'all. Until next time.